There we go. This is the last attempt at this video. So essentially, I was thinking that maybe I should go outside and do almost a day in the life of a photographer almost. But I thought it'd be kind of corny, so I did not do that. What I decided to do instead is sort of a talk about the future of this channel sort of thing, where I'm talking about what I want to do, what hopefully I will be able to put out on my very short weekends. And yeah, that's sort of the plan with this. But before that, let's slip into something a little bit more comfortable. Now, isn't that better? So, essentially, with Banana Man Photography, first of all, it's sort of a goofy name. It doesn't really matter. But anyways, what I'd like to sort of accomplish is getting my pictures out to where, people can see it, and it's sort of a digestible, you sort of put it in the background and then you're like, oh, that's a cool picture. But with that being said, I'd also like to sort of get into videography, which right here, this is a video sort of exploring that. I've never really been behind an actual camera. I'm usually a photographer, so not a very familiar feeling, but it's been sort of an experience getting set up, and that was a B right there. Anyways, getting this all set up and coming out to a location where I'm sort of free to do whatever I want. So, one moment. As I was saying, there's a passerby, and I didn't want to record them. There's a little bird over there. Anyways, with that being said, I was going into videography and photography, so I am primarily and most comfortable with photography, and through the videos that are coming up next, that will become apparent, especially the Pictures of the Days series. I'll be sort of going more into that, sort of either adding more shots or making more of those videos, since they're pretty easy to produce. It's sort of just a slideshow made on Google Slides. But anyways, what I more want to sort of delve into is videography, where I'm taking these artistic videos and doing cinematic sort of things like that. I have a cinema lens for that, which I bought, about 3 weeks ago or something along those lines, and I never really used it, and I'm not even using it now. It's too tight to really get these sort of photos or videos and whatnot. But with that being said, I'm figuring it out, which I think I have already taken a few different clips as I've been out here. There's going to be one as the intro, which of course you've already seen that by now, if I figure out how to edit correctly, which I think I do know sort of the basics of at this point. Not totally 100%, but anyways, we'll have that clip, and I'll be on my way back home shortly since my camera's almost dead. Anyways, I'll be taking some videos of birds if I can get them, but mostly just walking down a trail. So this will be the trail video. And yeah, with that being said, right now I'm sort of planning and having several ideas of different types of editing that I want to do and different types of videos that I want to get made. There are several stylized things that I have sort of visualized in my head that I've just not been able to bring to light yet, since I've been a bit busy. I have a regular job that I do outside of this, which this isn't a job even. This is sort of just something that I want to do because I thought it'd be fun. But yeah, I think within the next week I'll be trying to sort of put things together whenever I have time. And I think realistically I'll probably have this video edited by this evening, most likely, and I think that I'll be able to get sort of a real video like this out maybe once a week, maybe once every 2 weeks, depending on what I'm doing. I know that this coming week I have a session with the fellow that I mentioned a moment ago, where he wants me to take pictures of his animals with him, just sort of different shots of creative poses and things like that. I think I probably shouldn't put too many of those pictures from those sessions because I don't have his permission, I don't think, to do so. He said we would discuss that sort of thing where I would like to post those on my Instagram, but like I said, not too clear on what's going on. So what I'll most likely do is forego that entirely and just not do it at all. But who knows, maybe he'll be okay with me using a picture here or there that both of us sort of really enjoy, and it's my art as well. So anyways, with that being said, I've already used one single photo from one of our bigger photo shoots. We've only had 2 so far, and it was the first one that was the largest. We took about 5,000 pictures-ish, more so I think, more than that. So with that being said, there was one where I sort of already discussed it in the video. He's leaping from a fence over to a trash can, or a dumpster rather, and he has a crown on. He has so many different outfits and different crowns and different hats that he sort of wore as we were shooting that day. But yeah, with that particular instance, he was wearing a crown, and it was almost lifting off his head, and it fell down, of course, after the picture. But it was just a cool shot, and I want to share those sort of things with you guys. And I want to do video. So with that being said, I should probably get this wrapped up a little bit. I know that I have a bit more recording and shooting to do. There have been so many hummingbirds flying around as I've been out here. I have a few pictures of those, and I have a few, well, hopefully I will have a few videos by the time I am through, but who knows. I know that I've finally found out, wow, the wind is really picking up, but I finally found out how to record with my cinema lens, because when I first bought it, there was a lens filter on it that had a different curve that made it impossible to focus infinitely. So I had about a foot range worth of focusing, so it really made it difficult. But now I know how to do it, and something that I will probably be doing is getting a longer cord for my microphone, because I'm limited to how far I can go, and I think someday I'd like to get a wireless one, but we can sort of discuss aspirations for videography later. So I think with that all being said, I should probably get going. I think I sort of covered everything that I want to. I've probably chatted for about, 10-15 minutes-ish with all the different clips, but who knows? I don't know. I'm just a guy talking outside. So with that being said, I think what I'll do is sort of transition into a little bit of an outro. With that being said, 1 second. Alright. I did say that was the last thing. I lied. I don't know when the last thing is. Until that camera's dead, we're going. So, I do also want to bring up, I guess, what I'm doing in Arizona. Because I mentioned that, I just had the decision to leave and I left, but there's a lot more to that story. Mostly that I wanted to have more of a sense of freedom that I did not have back in Alaska. I was working with that at the time. I was happy to do so, but it became such a restricting life, really, because all I did was essentially go out, shop and ship things, come home, go to bed, do the same thing the next day. Or, if it was my weekend, do it anyways, because there was no weekend. We sort of just kept on going until we had no orders left from all the different folks. And I did mention my previous jobs, I think, in a previous video, where I was like, I shopped and shipped things to rural communities in Alaska, and I think, here is a cart from Costco full of milk. I hope you guys enjoy that. I certainly did. That was an order to a village. I think they had a coffee shop, and shoot, they needed milk and also Red Bull and different things like that, so I bought it for them. And you'll see right there, it's quite large, and it was a pisser to get around, and people gave me looks. So I thought that was a bit of a fun little job. And there have also been different hamburger runs where we buy how many different things for like barbecues and things like that, like blacktop grills, I think is what they're called. Anyways, with that being said, I was essentially done with the job. I was working with my dad for about a year, and there was a little bit of, I suppose, tension between the two of us because he didn't really pay me, and I did not appreciate that. I didn't appreciate it so much that I decided to leave. And he was like out vacationing and whatnot while I was running the business, which is not an issue per se, but I was tired of it. So, with that being said, I won't get too into my personal life outside of that, but I think I've mentioned, and I should probably just complete the thought, not just have it, oh, I came here because I wanted to. No, there's more to it, and I guess that's really it. And now I'm here. I'm happy. I'm doing good. My dog, yay. Here's a picture of him. He's named after Kanye West. If you guys couldn't guess that already, that was a little bit before the the things that he's doing on Twitter, whatever Kanye's doing right now. It was before that. Okay, I didn't know he was gonna sort of do this magnificent crash out that he's doing, but it is what it is. He responds to yay now, and it's over for that specifically. But I love him despite everything, and I think it is what it is. As I was saying, can't take it back. It's over. It's done. And you know what? I like some of his music. Who cares? It's kind of cool. I like his music. So, with that being said, we're over here in Arizona now. And I think that's where we'll sort of be staying. So, with that all being said, next clip. That was a mistake. Alrighty, here is a bit of a editor's inclusion. It is the Banana Man. This is the original picture, the original day that it all sort of just fell into place. This was Halloween years ago. I can't recall exactly how long it's been, but my buddy and I were going to go trick-or-treating, and I didn't have a costume, so I went to Spirit of Halloween, picked this bad boy up, and it's sort of been over since then. To the right of me in this picture is a young man dressed in a gorilla costume, which is sadly lost to time. I don't know when or why this was cropped, but he is to the right of me. I guess to the left of the picture. But anyways, with that being said, I put together 4 other little pictures just for a mini picture inclusion for the video, just because I'm a picture channel. That's like photography, and I like that. So we'll just sort of jump right into it. Here's a little spider from Alaska. Can't recall the name of it, but it was sort of just crawling around outside, and I was messing with my macro lens quite a bit back then, so snapped a shot of it. I like how you can see the hairs of the legs and the mandibles almost of the spider, so I thought that was pretty cool. Then we have an ibis from the zoo. This little girl, she was so very friendly and interactive with people that sadly she had to get put away into the enclosed area of the bird room. So now every time I go to the zoo, she sort of just hops down and sticks her beak through the little chicken fencing, and we say hi, but she can't dig through my camera bag anymore, so it is what it is. That's what she's doing right there. Then next we have another bird from the zoo. Interesting looking fellow. It has such a very triangular face. You can't exactly see it with this picture specifically, but it almost looks like it's not real. It's like what a computer would think a bird is. And it just makes this crazy looking, it has really yellow eyes as well. Anyways, next we have my little boy Ye, once again. Just thought the natural framing of the picture was really cool. I was in the office area, and I just shot through the chair and the table, and there he is. And that is the last picture. So let's transition to the end video section. Alright, so this is the outro. I hope you guys enjoyed. I don't really have an outro planned at all, so this will sort of just be a thank you for watching, and I hope to see you next time.